Welcome to Tying Michigan's Best Trout Flies. Today we're going to be doing a hex spinner pattern. It's my pattern and I really like it. It's the single most effective hex pattern that I personally know of. It's been in use now for, oh man, I don't know, 25 years or so. I'll probably get in trouble for releasing this to the public, but at any rate, let's get started with my hex spinner. I'll just tie my hex spinner. Another big hook, 6-3X, standard size for this hatch, for this spinner pull. And this fly is tied with using yellow 3/0 thread. We're going to start out with and put that on the shank and run it up to the wing position. We're going to put the wing on first on this fly. This wing pattern is what makes this fly unique. The wing pattern is actually an old Swisher and Richards wing pattern. The rest of the fly I pretty much devised myself, but I kind of borrowed their wing pattern many years ago. And to do that, we're going to take, first of all, 2 medium dun hen feathers like this. Now, appropriate size, and I'm talking about width and so on for a hex fly, okay? So I'll take 2 of those, and then we're going to take 2 again, hen feathers, grizzly this time, again of appropriate hexagenous size. There's 2 right there, those will work. Now the unique thing about this fly is it layers the wing. The theory, we'll see here in just a minute. The theory is that when you do this, you run a medium dun beneath a grizzly, right? And of course, on the top, if you're looking at the fly from the top, all you see is grizzly. But if you look at it, when you're looking at the fly from the fish's point of view, you see the grizzly bleeding through the dun, right? So supposedly, it makes the fly more effective because it looks like the vein in the wings. Now, whether that's true, I have no idea. But this is one extremely effective hex spinner pattern. And a little bit of history on this fly. As I said, by the way, when I tie the wings, the spent wings on my hex spinners, I tie them just a tiny bit shorter than you normally would. It helps to reduce any possibility of tippet twist and its spinning. So, but you know, this fly, of course, I borrowed the wing pattern from an old Swisher and Richards pattern. The rest of it's kind of just northern Michigan style. You'll see in a minute with pheasant tail and deer hair and so on. But to do this, we're going to attach our first set of wings there like this. Let's get that firmly in place. Bring your thread right back up to where your first wrap was there. Now we're going to do the same thing again with our second set. Again, the grizzly on top and the dun on the bottom, like that, right? And then what we do is you try to even those up as best as you can and attach that one right on top of the other set of wings. So now we should have our wing in place, and we can do the rest of the fly. Now we're going to take our thread back and put the tail on first. And the tail is just a little bit of pheasant fibers. This is just truly a Michigan, northern Michigan style fly. pheasant for the tail, and of course it's a spinner, so you make your tails a tiny bit longer, about like that. And we'll attach that there firmly. Now this fly has a ribbing, so this was different. This was added by me. Swisher and Richards pattern didn't have that, but I like a ribbing on these flies because if you're familiar with hex spinner falls, they don't hit the water dead all the time, and far from it. And a lot of times they're still alive, and even if the wings are splayed out, they are twitching and flopping and wiggling on the water. And this ribbing helps to imitate that motion on the water. So we'll put on a little bit of grizzly for the rib, and then as we continue with a Michigan style fly, we're going to make the body out of deer hair like this, and a little bit of a clump of deer hair like that. And we'll measure it so it comes near to the bend. We don't have to have this too far over as shuck style. And then about there, wherever you want to start your hackle at the thorax, there's where you'll trim that deer hair. And then attach it as we do with this style fly with a couple of firm wraps there. To hold it in place, just push it down a little bit so it covers the shank. Some looser but still firm wraps toward the rear. And again, at the bend, you firm that down a little bit so it stays in place. And then run the thread back up to the thorax. Now we can put a rib on. Like that. Attach here. And now we're going to set our wing. So we pull those apart with the grizzly and the dun each in their proper position, and then run your thread through there. That'll hold that one off to the side, back through here. Now that'll hold that one off to the side, and maybe just a couple more wraps to secure that. And then you have your spent wings in place, relatively speaking. There we go. If that slides off to the side a little bit, it's not going to be a big deal. And we need some hackle, and I have a brown and a grizzly here right in your hand somewhere. I don't know what happened to that other one. Weird. So a grizzly and a brown hackle of the appropriate size, attach it, and front and back. And we'll put the hackle on here. And of course, run it in front, several wraps. Tie it off. whip finish. And there's my version of the hex spinner, which, and most guys, when they fish it, they trim the hackle up front so it floats a little more flush. But this fly, just a little bit of the history on this fly again. And of course, I mentioned that the wing pattern is a Swisher and Richards wing pattern. The rest of it is a Michigan fly with a little bit of addition here and there of my own. And I've never sold this fly commercially, technically at least, but over the last 20-25 years, I've been selling it to a very small group of guys, probably half a dozen or so gentlemen that have fished this fly almost exclusively in the hex hatch for quite a few years now. And this group of guys had probably taken, well, I don't know exactly how many. I know it's many hundreds of browns in the 20 to 28 inch range on this fly. So it's highly effective, the best one that I know of. I hope you get a chance to tie a few and use it. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you the next time.